AI is already stronger than human. It's already, you look at all the, chessboard, AI is beating any of our players.
I think the hype around AI has surpassed the technology almost, and it's we need to come back around to what's realistic. At the end of the day, as you know, Cathy, it's all about the quality of your data, isn't it? I mean, if you don't have your data in place in the right way, then you're not going to get much value from AI. And also, if you haven't got governance in place, then you're gonna get in trouble with AI, the power of AI technology.
Very quickly, look at that. The number of agents that's going to be deployed in industry. I was meeting with a customer in the tobacco industry. I cannot name any name, but there's not a lot of those across Europe.
Of course,
they already deploy more than 2,000 agents.
Wow.
Chaos. How do you control? How do you orchestrate? How do you make sure you're compliant? How do you make sure you can report to the regulator around what these agents are doing, right? So right now, the big topic is governance, understanding how you can, you understand the decision chain and the interaction between agents to solve the problem. And if you consider AI is outside of your system and not embedded into the workflow, you're totally wrong. So AI is only as good as the platform is built on, only as good as the data you're using, and only as good as the workflow it is embedded into. You need the three components to come together, and you need to govern all of that.
Yeah,
I think I described what we do, right? That's precisely what we do. Those four things together.
It's the perfect storm for you guys, isn't it? Really?
It is.
It's the perfect storm for what you've been building up to since 2004.
We've been built for that moment.
For this moment. This is the moment.
This is our moment. So that's why I'm so excited to be here right now in this position at ServiceNow, because I do believe there's a very strong momentum for us.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think in terms of the core fundamentals, my understanding is that ServiceNow was created by someone who was frustrated that service tickets weren't being cleared fast enough
for a customer. It was like literally, if you look at this story, it's pretty fascinating. Actually, that was not IT at all. That was literally a customer service. And the lady.
Oh, was it? I didn't know that. I thought it was IT.
And it was a lady that needed to get into, like, I think 10 systems to get a customer order form ready. And that what our founder, figure out that using one button you could automatize the process and the workflow. That's how we were built, on a very simple idea that actually you can digitalize and automatize process. And now, of course, next wave is not automatize, is agentic embedded workflow, right? So it's that's to run autonomous enterprise. That's the vision of the future.
Are you seeing, and this is a question I just thought of, but this is a bit of a sticky subject, I think, at the moment, because people are just really not sure what's going to happen as this technology, as AI generally gets better. But are you seeing your customers, hiring less? It's not necessarily getting rid of people as in redundancies, but are they hiring less?
I think they are. We don't see them hiring less. We see them hiring differently.
Okay,
different
good
skills.
Answer. Yeah, of
different
course.
Skills.
Yeah. Better
and,
quality jobs, I suppose, isn't it? More strategic jobs.
Well, it's different skills. You need to be able to have people who can work fluently with AI, right? So you could be thinking that the young generation will be AI native, but even them need to learn how to do a prompt. You still need human brain to figure out if the prompt and AI is doing something stupid or not, right? So it's a different skill that you will need. By the way, all tech companies, including us, have a huge responsibility and contribution to the skill set. I guess for some functions, there will be impact. That's for sure, right? By the way, I've just before this conversation, Gareth, I was saw a new news that Anthropic has disclosed the list of jobs that will be, according to them, the most impacted by AI.
Oh, really?
And so, that's according to them. Well, and if you look, like, of course, in all IT, all engineering, mathematics,
things that have manual administrative tasks, I suppose. Yeah.
That, but if you look at the other side, according to them, that will impact the highly skilled people much more than the people that do not have that many required capabilities. Like
it's funny that
you still will need people to do manual things, right? For instance, in agriculture, you can enhance and augment the yield on a yarn, but you cannot replace farmers. You need people to do the job.
No,
right?
Plumbers.
So I think right now everybody is pretty much navigating. I do think there's going to be impact on some sort of jobs. I do see most of the company trying to figure out how to be more productive, including us, by the way.
Yeah.
We need to drink our own champagne. So we need to be using our own technology. We need to be smarter. We need to be AI native. We are not an AI native company. And we are competing with AI native companies. So we need to become AI native, which means using the technology to get us, to augment us. Will that translate into a reduction? I don't think so. I really think it's going to be translating into a shift in profiles. I personally don't believe that we're going to be having a company that will be run entirely on AI agents. That's impossible.
Yeah.
That's my wish. That is impossible.
I can't see how that could happen unless it was a very specific business. I mean,
or you can fully automatize and maybe robotics can be, enhanced, so there's a bucket of things. I do believe it's going to be a lot of multimodal, and combining human agents interaction much more.
100%.
That's why you need human that needs how to speak to agents, needs to know how to control the wrong decision and be able to judge. Judgment will be critical even more, because if you just rely on ChatGPT or any cloud or any model, you lose your ability to judge. So judgment will be critical. And skills, how to use AI properly, will be critical. That's my view, right? But I may be wrong.
With that. Yeah, 100%. I completely
and
agree.
I hope I'm right. If not, that's very scary.
No, I think you will be right for sure. I don't think there's much doubt about that. But so I've got to ask you this though, because I think this is not to do with ServiceNow or technology at all. This is to do with the societal impact of AI. But do you think that because I think that one of the most interesting conundrums this has created is around content creation. So it's like the child who gets AI to write the essay that the teacher has wrote them and hands it in. Okay, now if that essay that the teacher marks is clearly, or they know for some reason that it's written by AI, but nonetheless it's right. It feels like the person's words. But clearly they've used AI. Does that detract away from the outcome of a good essay, or should we ban AI for learning activities? It's a bit like the calculator with maths equations, isn't it? So the question is, in terms of creating content, if you've used AI, does it detract away from the outcome of the content created? And do you view it like that, or do you think that we need to embrace it?
Yeah, for me, we need to embrace it. It's we had the digital revolution, we had the mobile revolution, we had the cloud revolution, and remember at all these peak, people say, no, it's going to be horrible. It's going to change. We need to stick to the past. We can't.
Yeah.
We need to stick to the future. We need to embrace the future, and we need to manage to learn how to cope with the future, how to use the future. Yeah. I had this very interesting conversation with my daughter, actually 20 years old. She's in La Sorbonne University, and she's using ChatGPT to augment herself. So the deal is, hey, I still need to learn, because, if I'm doing studies, if I'm a student, I still need my brain to learn about the content.
Yeah.
But I'm going to use AI to be faster in some of the things I have to do, or getting straight to the point. It doesn't mean that a brain will be less trained. It means that she's going to be smarter and more efficient on some delivery. Absolutely. And I think that's efficient super smart to do so. And, we had this debate. It's pretty fascinating to see the young generation. Some, I guess, are a bit extreme because they are using AI to learn instead of them, and they're going to become stupid. And that's the risk, that we lose our brain and ability. But you know what, Gareth, AI is already stronger than human. It's already, you look at all the, chessboard, AI is beating any other players globally, right? So that's the unique nature of this, right? So we cannot fight this technology. We need to embrace it and control it and use it the right way. I think that's for me the key. How do you use it for good? How do you use it to augment you, to augment this company? If tomorrow we have a fix for cancer treatment using AI, that's great. If we have a fix using AI technology for global warming, wonderful. I mean, if we have a fix using technology for education in deprived environment, great. If we are using AI to kill even more each other, no.